For your own safety and for those around you, please stand at least 1 meter apart. Thank you.
You're watching video right now of Boston Dynamics' Spot robot. That's what it's called, little Spot. In a Singapore park. That video from over the weekend, the four-legged robot encouraging park goers to social distance. And joining us right now to talk more about all of this, the robot's creator, Boston Dynamics founder and chairman, Marc Raibert. Marc, it's great to see you.
Good morning.
The privilege of spending time with you before. This is the first time, and maybe I'm wrong on this, where these robots are now, if you will, out in the wild and being used in some very, very unique ways. Are you getting orders for these robots now in this COVID world?
We are. We started out using Spot in a variety of hazardous environments like refineries and electric power plants. But now that this pandemic is on, people realize that there's lots of situations where you'd rather not have human contact. And so the robots come in there and been a useful tool.
So how many of these robots are out there right now? How many are you going to be manufacturing? What countries are ordering them? How much does it cost?
We're manufacturing about 1,000 of them. We have about 120 out in the world. We have others that we're using for development, basically in our employees' homes at the moment. But there's about 120 of them out there being used in a wide variety of purposes.
And can I ask how much they cost?
Right now we're in an early adopter period where we negotiate every deal, but very soon we'll have published pricing, and you can just go to our website and order one by clicking if you want. Very soon, a couple of weeks.
Hey, Marc, how do they work?
Becky?
I mean, if they're going to focus on social distancing, how do they know that they're not separating me from my kids or from my spouse or something? Or how about if we walk up to a park and we're meeting my mother and father or something? How do they know
really
who
interesting.
to keep apart and who to let together?
Yeah, it's really interesting. For the Singapore use, which is, I believe, what the clip you just showed, there's a person at the other end of the controller sort of driving the robot around. The robot can operate itself, but a human can be at a station and steer it this way or that way. And they can also see some of the imagery from the robot. On its back, we have a camera that they use. So there's really a human making the decisions as to, who to interact with in the case of the Singaporeans. We have other cases where we're using it in a refinery or a factory where the robot navigates on its own to a bunch of locations in order to either make measurements or do whatever it's doing. And, we're thinking about using it for disinfecting places. Everybody wants their train stations and other facilities to be disinfected so that when you go in, you're safe. And in those kinds of situations, the robot can autonomously do all the operations, because there aren't people there to interact with.
So if it comes up and nudges me because it thinks I'm too close to somebody and I don't listen to it, does it zap me?
No, nothing like that. In fact, the robot isn't really enforcing in Singapore. It's just giving people information and encouraging them. I believe there's a human nearby who's who can do whatever enforcement they decide is appropriate. But the robot doesn't do anything like that.